And this is how we get down. What's good, everybody? Welcome into a glorious Thursday morning. This is where you start your day. It's a vibe. You laugh a little bit. You'll learn a lot. You cash a few tickets, and then you go out into your day and you feel really good about yourself. I am the coach. I navigate this ship. This is Coach and Company. We're live every single day on the Stadium Network and everywhere that Stadium airs, now in over 110 million homes every single day. Amazon Prime Video, DirecTV, YouTube TV, Roku TV, now Vizio TV, LG TV. Just signed on, and they'll be ready to go over the course of the next couple of weeks. We continue to grow, and we all grow together. So thank you all for joining us on Stadium. Guess what? YouTube back up and running. We did nothing wrong. We're not going to sit here and complain about it like other people do. No, we're not going to do that. We sent in our appeal. They said, you guys did nothing wrong. So we're back on YouTube today and also on social media. Now, we had 2 winning days in a row. Yesterday, lost a little bit of juice. We were 3-3 here at the brand, so not a horrible day. My 2 plays were tournament picks, and the Truest is coming up. Now, it's a limited field. Threesomes, both tees, so the first tee time is not until after 11 a.m. Eastern time today. And oh, by the way, coming up from noon to 2, ESPN Bet, a special betting stream on PGA Tour Live at ESPN Plus. Your boy will be the voice today. I encourage you to tune in. Michael Collins, the America's Caddy, and also 2-time winner of the Arnold Palmer Invitational, Matt Every, will join me for that today from noon to 2 Eastern time. But do you guys hear that? Do you hear that? The doorbell's ringing. The company is fired up. They're ready to walk through the door. So without further ado, we got to get back on the horse. It's time to beat the books. All right, an embarrassment of riches today. Look who I have. First and foremost, he has been all over hockey, and last night he's texted me late night. He said, Coach, I need to talk about this guy. Please say hello to the man who's almost done with this year's college schedule. He is King Lettuce. Young Peyton, good morning, sir.
Morning, Coach. Look at Nate G in the chat already getting me fired up. Nico Rantanen making history again. Let's go. We're here in Dallas. Going crazy for him. Another hat trick last night. Stars have been playing really well.
Now, boom and boom. Now, he's the only 5-star chef in the game. Live from the East Coast. Seabass, good morning.
Morning, Coach. Morning, company. How y'all doing today? I'm just asking.
We are.
How's everybody doing? I'm just trying to get the motion flowing, Coach.
We are. We're good. I'm good. I'm good.
Because you didn't answer, so I was confused.
Now, he is our numbers guy for a reason. We're going to change things up just a little bit moving forward. He's going to be here in the A's, and then for any live movement, anything that moves throughout the hour, he's going to be all over it. Please say good morning to Rafael Esparza. Good morning, Rafael.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, company. You know, in the NHL playoffs, there's been 307 goals scored. So far, it's good. It's going to break a record for NHL playoff goals. So I'm excited for some more hockey tonight.
You're damn right. So we're going to be all over the hockey tonight, round the rink, coming up in about 28 minutes from right now at the bottom of the hour. And then finally, he's live from Memphis, Tennessee. He's the host of Weekday Wagers at 3 p.m. Eastern time right here on this YouTube channel. Please say good morning to Daniel Greer. Good morning, DG.
Morning, Coach. Good morning, guys. I do believe if you added the dog years into this, I think that hockey would actually be scoring more points than the NBA right now because it's disgusting what's happening on the hardwood.
What has happened? See, you say disgusting. Seabass thinks the NBA's been trash. I absolutely love it. I don't know why a 20-point comeback is not exciting to anything else, but I've loved the NBA playoffs so far. Seabass, why haven't you liked it?
One 20-point comeback is exciting. 7 of them is not. Where's the coaching? What's going on?
Oh, my goodness.
7, and it's not even like 7.
They literally have broken records. You had every away team and underdog won until Oklahoma City last night. That's awesome.
I mean, sure.
It's awesome, Seabass. It's awesome. It's just they're just not scoring, but yes, it's awesome.
Yeah, true. Sometimes defense can be good. All right, we've got a full list of plays today. In fact, Big Chuck also sent in his plays today as well. So we got to get right to it. In fact, I want to start off in a positive fashion. So, Seabass, big boy, I'm going to come over to you. Where are we starting today?
Coach, we're going to the NBA tonight. Listen, we're going to take the Warriors first half team total over 45.5 points tonight. They've done this in their last 5 games, their last 10 games, 7 of 7 games against the Timberwolves. But wait, Steph Curry's not playing. Doesn't matter. He missed 10 games this year. In 8 of those games, they still went over this total in the first half, and they went over by a lot. So give me the Warriors over 45.5 points in the first half tonight.
Boom and boom. All right, I like that a lot. And I think people are underestimating, and we'll talk about the Warriors bottom of the hour, but Buddy Hield has certainly stepped up. They're going to need him tonight, and we'll talk about what his player prop is as well. All right, DG, coming over to you. What are your best bets today?
Yeah, I'm going to actually stay on the hardwood as well. I'm going to go Jimmy Butler over the 7.5 rebounds and get this plus 132. He had 11 rebounds in game 1 with 16 rebound chances. That's what I love to see is the rebound chances. And so because of that, I think he can get 8 rebounds tonight and ladder that bad boy up to 10. And then we're going to go to Freddie Charles Freeman. 1+ RBI. He's at plus 120. He's had 11 hits and 12 RBIs in the last 5 games, and he's had 1+ RBI in 4 of the last 5. Going against Brandon Pfaadt, he has a 364 career average against him. Freddie is hot. Roll with Freddie tonight at plus 120 and an RBI.
Understood or understand the premise that, he's done it 4 games in a row. We've got to step off because at some point it's going to end. I would rather go 5 out of 6, 6 out of 7, 7 out of 8. So I love that mentality. Stay on them until they stop. That's what it's all about. Excuse me. All right. Now we've got DG. We got Seabass. So I'm looking at Raphael over there, and he feels like somebody that's like a rabid dog backed into a corner and ready to come out today. What do you got, big fella?
I got us hopefully 4 straight winning days. That's what I'm hoping to get because that's why I'm going with the NBA. Give me the Minnesota Timberwolves first quarter minus 3.5, laying the 3 nickels. We cashed first quarter yesterday with Boston. That's all Boston cashed yesterday, but we're going back to the well with the first quarter. Minnesota scored 31 points in the first half. Lasting in game 1, I think they control this tempo right from the start. Hopefully, they can shoot much better than they did last game. And then give me the Philadelphia Phillies team total over 4.5 minus 105. I searched all last night. I thought the Mariners were playing because I cashed 7 out of 8 with the Mariners team total, but I'm going with the Phillies team total right now. Last 2 days, they've outscored Tampa Bay 15-4. That's right, 15-4. Phillies rocking again today.
Yeah, I'm down in Florida right now, and the negativity surrounding the Rays playing in the Yankees, they're blaming the Yankees facility. They're not blaming the team, not the team. They're blaming the Yankees facility. The Rays just suck, as Z-Man would say. All right, I'm going to go next because today we have the truest. And if you're going to cash with the coach, you're going to do it with these 2 guys right here. These are round 1 matchups, and the first tee time is not till 11:09, but these are in the 11 a.m. Eastern hour. So you got to get them in and get them in immediately. Brian Harmon over Tom Hoagie at minus 130. Brian Harmon very quietly has had some really good finishes in the last month. And they're playing at a golf course that nobody has seen before, that nobody has played before. They had to move this event because of the PGA Championship next week. So when you're walking in and you're a player that doesn't really know the course, I'll take a major champion. I'll take what I like to call a plotter around the golf course. Give me Brian Harmon at minus 130. Then Denny McCarthy at minus 110 over Robert McIntyre. Now, Robert McIntyre last year, he was the toast of the town. He wins the Scottish Open. He wins the Canadian Open with his dad on the bag. But I don't know if maybe he's gotten a little bit fat and happy coming into 2025. And Denny McCarthy is all business all the time. So he's going to come out fired up. He's had some really good results the last couple of weeks. So give me Denny McCarthy. Both of these are round 1 plays. All right, Young Peyton, what do you got?
They've been starting to get it going offensively. 22 runs in their last 3 games. DG mentioned it. Freddie Freeman's heating up. 3 multi-hit games for him in a row. And Yoshinobu Yamamoto on the mound for the boys in blue. As the Diamondbacks as a team are just 3 for 24 against him. Let's take the Dodgers to cover at plus money. I'm also going with a hit parlay today, kind of Seabass-esque. And Ryan Mountcastle over 0.5 hits. Mountcastle has gotten a hit in his last 13 games in a row against the Twins. Enough said there. Gleyber Torres over 0.5 hits. He's facing Kyle Freeland. David Spade and benchwarmers could get a hit off of Kyle Freeland. He has a 1.5 whip, and Torres is 3 for 5 against Freeland, which is a small sample size, but hitting 400 against lefties this year. Pair these guys both to get a hit, which is around 120 in a lot of places.
By the way, are you in the girlfriend's place? Because I know you're not back at home in the friendly confines. Where are you at today?
I'm in my pretty much moved out apartment now. I got everything kind of out of the way, getting going here for the weekend. All my stuff's pretty much out of here.
Well, you in tomorrow, and then you're back home, and you're all coaching company the entire summer. Yes.
Yes.
Who needs a summer job when you're in college? You can come here and work for free. All right, we've got a premium play from our man Big Chuck that he sent in today, and it goes a little something like this: Europa League, Bodo Glimt and Tottenham. That's right. Bodo Glimt, first half team total over half a goal. All they got to do is find the back of the net. One time at -110. Bodo trailing 3-1 on aggregate. This is the second leg. They are forced to push to score, and they average one first half team goal this season for the entire season. There you see the QR code. That's the side hustle that we support completely. And I'm telling you right now, you play one or two, you're going to pay for the entire year. It's so affordable, and Chuck is the best soccer capper in the game. Now, we also have an incredible partnership with Just the Stats. And look who just showed up. Looking all dapper here on a Thursday. Mark running the show. What is our JTS play of the day?
Well, good morning, Coach. And we're rolling with a ticket so hot tonight, it might actually need a warning label. First off, we're going to take Philadelphia Philly Kyle Schwarber to draw at least one walk because let's be honest, opposing pitchers would rather send him to first base than watch their soul leave the yard. The man's had 64 plate appearances on the road and has already drawn 12 walks. And now he's got a 12-mile-an-hour wind blowing directly out to right field like Mother Nature herself is calling for a Schwarber bomb. Don't be surprised when Schwarber trots to first before his walk-up music even ends. We're going to pair that with Mark Stone of the Golden Knights to get over 1.5 shots on goal. The captain of the Golden Knights isn't just stirring the drink, he's guzzling it. Stone is averaging over 3 shots a goal per game across his 10 career playoff appearances, and he's hit this over in 6 of 7 games this postseason already. He's more dialed in than Tony Stark building a new suit in a cave. Put them both together for a plus 152 Just the Stats Sport play of the day.
I love the plus money. There is the QR code. I encourage you. Put every tool in your toolbox. Use that code BTT30. We're going to give you 30 days for free. You can come in and check out everything. By the way, JC1 in the chat says he likes the Caps on the money line at plus 114. Mark, what does the model say at JTS for that? Or he is gone? Okay. That's my bad, producer man. I'm leaving you hanging out to dry. Mark, Caps on the money line. What does the model say?
Yeah, the model actually likes the Capitals in this spot as well as the under.
No, interesting. Under is 5.5, 6. I haven't even looked at that number
5.5.
yet.
Under 5.5. Yep.
5.5. This is one of those things where you look at it real quick, DG, 20 seconds. On weekday wagers, you look at the numbers and how they've moved, especially in hockey, yes?
Yeah, you can definitely look at all these numbers because, as Raphael says, when you see the money come in, you can kind of see how the Vegas and the sports books are thinking. So you can definitely look at it in the afternoon much better.
All right, very good. 3 p.m. Eastern time right here on our YouTube channel, which is back up and running. You can't stop us. You can't stop the machine. All right, gentlemen, well done. I see a bunch of green check marks coming up tomorrow. All right, still to come. We're just getting started here on Coach and Company. On the other side, we've got one word. Curry is out for a week. The Knicks come back. We've got a star in the making in the NHL. We're talking one word. And also at the bottom of the hour, we're talking everything Warriors and T-Wolves tonight. Just getting started. It's Coach and Company live as always right here on Stadium. All right, we stay on here on our YouTube channel, you degenerates out there, and some news coming out of the American League. And DG, let me tell you this. The Yankees are 21-16, a 2.5-game lead in the Eastern Division. And now there's word that Giancarlo could be back by the end of the month. How much do they need him?
I don't know if they need him. I think that's a strong word, but I think that they could actually use him just because it will give them another weapon in their lineup because he can go deep. And if he gets hot, Giancarlo Stanton is incredible, but he's been very streaky, but I think he can be a big weapon in their lineup for the foreseeable future.
Seabass, when you watch him, I mean, you live in the Baltimore area. How much do you think the Yankees, even though they're in first place, could use his stick?
Well, they definitely could. Who doesn't want more bats, more runs in the lineup? I mean, it's a no-brainer to have him back. He's a talented ball player. He can go yard. His defense is pretty okay. So it's great for them to have him back. That's my positivity moment of the day, Coach. But, it's a great addition back to their lineup for a team that's already in first place.
Hey, at least we get one.
Yeah.
Raphael, will he change the numbers for the Yankees at all?
No, unless he can pitch, do some relief pitching.
Raphael?
That's the only thing that he can change is relief pitching. Yes, he can probably give Bellinger some breaks, maybe some Judge some breaks, but he ain't going to change any numbers unless he can throw out a mound.
Well, right now, I mean, he used to be just fantastic, young Peyton, but it seems like injuries and the fact that he cannot hit a curveball have really kind of derailed his career just a little bit.
Yeah, it almost looks like he goes up there and swings with his eyes closed half the time. But you just hope you get the best version of Giancarlo Stanton when he comes back. But what I'm more surprised about, Coach, is that the Yankees are in first place at 21-16. That's a really good division, and 21-16 is the first place position there. So it's definitely a winnable division this year.
Yeah, no doubt about it. 16, 19, 20. Detroit has 13, first place there. Seattle, 14. By the way, Raphael, they're giving you props for your Mariners team total over that just continues to hit until they raise it. We're back live in just 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. I am the coach. This is Coaching Company live on the Stadium Network nationwide. And we're not just a sports betting show. No, we love to dig into the bigger topics that may, in a roundabout way, get you back to the betting perspective. But we are sports fans just like you are. And today there are so many topics to talk about. We like to keep it simple. So we go one word, one word, one word. One word. All right, gentlemen, you guys know the drill. You know the rules. Peyton, you start. We piggyback down the line, and I will bring it home as only I can do. So, Peyton, this first topic is yours because for people who may not be NHL fans, they may not have known about Mikko Rantanen, and he's had two straight hat tricks as they continue on, as he's becoming a superstar right before our very eyes. One word on doing the unthinkable. 6 goals in 2 straight games. Go.
Yeah, this is historic. I mean, he now has 8 goals in 8 playoff games. He's got back-to-back hat tricks. And don't forget, he also scored 3 times against Colorado in Game 7 of that series last Saturday. Mikko is the first player in Stanley Cup history with multiple 3-goal periods in the same postseason. And he has now scored or assisted on 12 straight goals by the Stars. 12 straight. Number 96 is playing like a superstar amongst his stars. But obviously the best part is that he's playing out of his mind at the perfect time. And we love seeing it here in Dallas.
Let's go legendary. As in, this has the potential to be legendary. Sort of oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on the man's name. Reggie Jackson and home runs in the World Series. Wow. But they've got to complete it. Otherwise, it's all for nothing, right? I like what he's doing. I like how Dallas is playing. And it's an incredible feat to do. Potentially legendary.
My one word is going to be Nico. And no, let's not confuse that with Mikko. I'm going to go with Nico Harrison because he heard of what's happening down with the Dallas Stars and he thought, maybe I'll go get this guy in Mikko Rantanen and sign him up to play basketball next year. But unfortunately, he just had a little R-Truth moment and said, my bad.
My one word is substitute. There is no substitute for star power. And when you get into the playoffs, this is when you start to make a name for yourself. And I will say this, that as good and as much as I've enjoyed the NBA playoffs, the NHL, back in February, they caught our attention. And now all of these playoff teams and these individual players are starting to show us why we should be paying attention every single postseason. You cannot substitute for star power. And this dude is becoming a star right before our very eyes. Topic number 2. We found out yesterday that Steph Curry will be out grade 1 hamstring strain for at least a week. I said this is one of the hardest injuries to come back from. So now the Warriors know they will not have him in game 2. One word, young Peyton, on Steph Curry not being available and being out for a minimum of a week.
Robbed. We're getting robbed from watching one of the greatest players in the history of the game and the most popular player in the world today, not named Caitlin Clark, from doing what we all love to watch, shooting the three. And Steph Curry should be in every conversation when it comes to the GOAT discussion, because not just because he's the greatest shooter of all time, but the ball handling, the ability to penetrate and get to the rim and shoot and score through contact. He changed the game for the better or for the worse. That's for another topic for another day. But I personally feel robbed, and the Warriors are not winning this series without him.
Manageable. The Warriors they can manage this situation. They're going to be okay. They managed to win game 1 without Steph Curry, going out early. They've done it through the course of the season without him. It's going to be manageable for them as long as it's only a week.
My one word's going to go Himmy, because of Jimmy Butler himself, because Jimmy Butler is him, and he can actually help this Warriors team, just as Seabass was saying. You can help this team just kind of stay afloat if they want to get Curry back. I just think with any injury to a guy who's 37, just kind of a guy who needs to be running around and just running off of screens and getting up those three-pointers, it's going to be tough for him to come back, whether it's grade 1 or whatever it is on that hamstring. I think he might be done for the playoffs.
You actually just said my word. It's tough. I'm thinking about Steph Curry as an individual, Steph Curry as a human being, Steph Curry as a player who loves to play the game of basketball. This has got to be so tough on him. He said 3 weeks ago, he said, my tank is full, rejuvenated that Jimmy Butler came over from Miami, rejuvenated that the Warriors beat the Rockets in the first round, and that they win game 1, that maybe they have a chance to do something special. And at 37 years of age, Steph Curry's got to be looking himself in the mirror and saying, listen, I know this is a little bit of a setback, but I don't have that many years left, so I got to do everything in my power. But it still doesn't change the fact that it's going to be a little bit tough on his psyche to have to sit on that bench and watch his boys go to war on the NBA hardcourt without him. Topic number 3. Now, Rudy Gobert, who's never been a super, super positive player, not a great teammate. Players don't necessarily like playing with him or against him. So now the head coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves is going to send in video, guys, about how physical Draymond Green and the boys have been after game 1. And I don't know what he hopes to accomplish, but my goodness, can you spell S-O-F-T? One word, young Peyton, on the Timberwolves actually complaining about physical play on their center?
Laughable. You're whining about the physical play. It's the playoffs. It ain't intramurals. Every series has been physical. No blood, no foul. It's just the way it is. It's not quite the bad boys of Detroit in the late 80s of the Celtics, Lakers, but they're letting them play this postseason. So the T-Wolves just need to stop whining and simply toughen up.
Charmin, as in Charmin Soft. That's with an S-A-A-A-A-A-W-F-T, soft. How do you do this? Rudy Gobert is like your enforcer, right? This is like if Steve Kerr were to send in a video of saying they're being too physical with Draymond Green. That's what they do. Didn't Gobert just pick up a tech the other night for hitting an elbow in the back of LeBron's neck on a free throw? Unbelievable. Yes. Charmin Soft.
My one word's going to go gamesmanship. Yes, and that is one full word, Soupy, if you're watching. But I will say that gamesmanship within this, it's just simple. I want more calls. How do I get more calls? It's not yelling at the referees. Let's go ahead and outthink everybody, use a little intelligence here. And we're going to set up the referees to understand what's happening. That way they do a little film work on their own. Get a little gamesmanship, get an extra calls, helps you win this next game in game 2.
See, my one word was officials. These are human beings. They have an officials room where they sit before the game halftime, after the game, and they talk about what's going on. What do you think they're going to say when one team is sending in video to basically say that your brethren, whoever coached or officiated the first game, didn't call it close enough? Do you think that's really going to do the Timberwolves any favors? I say no. My one word, officials. Now, topic number 4, and this one's simply for Seabass. The New York Knicks, they make history. Not one, but 2 20-point comebacks. They were down 20 with 14 minutes to play last night, and they did it again. It's historic. Now they can go home and now potentially have a chance to knock out Tatum and the boys. One word, young Peyton, on the Knicks making history on the road.
Inexcusable for Boston. I mean, to blow 120-point lead in your home building during the playoffs, it happens. But 2 20-point leads is inexcusable. Blowing big leads in back-to-back playoff games is the kind of thing that ruins locker rooms, and it gets coaches fired. But I'm not writing the Celtics off just yet. Don't forget they went 4-0 against the Knicks during the regular season, and they had that 16-6 run in the third quarter yesterday in game 2 because of great defense. And if I know they love to shoot the three, they've taken 100 in their first 2 games, but if they want to get back in this series, they need to do it with defense.
Conflicted, because I am conflicted. I don't know if I should celebrate this or just call it the trash that it is. I get it's historic, 2 20-point comeback wins on the road in the Garden. I get the significance of it, but I'm conflicted because where is the defense? What is Boston doing? What is your shot selection? What are they talking about in the locker room? I need to know what the coach is telling them. Not you, the other coach.
Omaha. I'm going to go with a little Omaha here in honor of Peyton Manning, and I'm going to audible to some numbers. 63 and 38. That is the fourth quarter difference in the first 2 games, including the overtime in game 1. The Knicks have outscored the Celtics by 25 points over the fourth quarters and overtime within those first 2 games. It just goes to show that this team is better coached, in my opinion, within the Knicks, but also they're playing like they need to win. That's what the Celtics aren't doing right now, is playing like they need to win. We'll see a difference in game 3, in my opinion, and I think the Celtics could steal that game 3.
My one word is Tommy, as in Big Tommy C. Sometimes in life, gentlemen, you don't get all the enjoyment out of the comeback that you're watching on the TV. You think about one of your best buds, who's the biggest Celtics fan in the world. And with every turnover, with every missed shot, with every made shot by the Knicks, you knew he's cringing and ripping his Celtics shirt off. And then you think, I don't want to see Big Tommy without his shirt off. But that's what's happening in the Carlucci household. So for me, this one was very, very easy. My one word is Tommy. By the way, how insufferable do you think Spike Lee's going to be on Saturday afternoon? By the way, this game's at 3:30 Eastern on Saturday. What are they doing? DG, 3:30 for this game on Saturday?
It doesn't make sense. I know they're going to get the eyeballs because it is New York, it is Boston, but I just don't understand. Put that at the nighttime, man. I want everybody in the world to be able to have a chance to watch that game.
I don't know what the other guy – I haven't even looked at the nighttime game. Peyton, I only got 20 seconds for you. But to me, Barkley was right last night. He was going off about the start of this game on Saturday.
No, that's ridiculous. What is it, Christmas? This is insane. I can't be doing this.
Seabass, your thoughts? I got about 15 for you.
Well, you got to have the biggest game. If you're going to have a time slot there, you need to get the biggest eyes because, right, nobody wants to watch basketball that time on a Saturday afternoon. They're probably out drinking already.
Always has to come back to alcohol and the restaurant and the tequila. And that's what we're all about right here. You're damn right. First thing on a Thursday morning. Now, still to come. Great job on one word, guys, by the way. Those of you watching on YouTube, you're going to have Round the Rink right out of this statement right here. But on the other side, we're talking Warriors. We're talking T-Wolves. We're talking Knicks Celtics. It's Coach and Company, live always on Stadium.
As we go around the rink real quick with our guy, Mark from Justice That Sports. How are you, sir? Go ahead and give us what you got today.
Fantastic, DG. Yeah, let's get this skate started. First off, Lace them up because we're going with the Golden Knights on the money line at minus 134. Edmonton's win in game one came courtesy of a late game surge, which included a 3-goal third period that really bucked the trend of their otherwise quiet offensive performance that night. Calvin Pickard, their goalie, will again get the start for the Oilers, and while serviceable, he's facing one of the most balanced and deep four-line attacks in the postseason. Expect Vegas to set the tone early, manage the neutral zone more effectively, and protect home ice. Historically, Vegas thrives in these moments. They've won 14 of the last 19 playoff home games, and they are 7-2 in their last 9 following a postseason loss. For the next play, I'm going back to the underwell and going with the Hurricanes and Capitals first period under 1.5 at minus 104. Hurricanes' Frederik Andersen has not allowed a first period goal in either of his last 2 playoff starts. He's anchoring a Carolina defense that ranks top 5 in fewest high danger chances allowed. On the other side, Logan Thompson for the Capitals has held opponents scoreless in the opening frame in 5 of his last 6 playoff starts. In game 1, not only did the under hit, but both teams combined for just 9 total shots on goal in that first period. Expect more of the same for game 2. And that is your skate around the rink.
Skate Around the Rink brought to you by Justice Stat Sports. Go ahead and use your code BTT30 and go ahead and get your first 30 days free. But Mark, I do have some other hockey questions for you because I am a professional hockey capper, as everybody knows. But there's 2 games tonight. Both teams are 1-0. Which team has the best opportunity to tie up this series?
To be honest, I think it's both. And I hate to ride the fence on this one. I just think that these 2 teams are both so perfectly matched and balanced. Starting with the Washington Capitals and the Carolina Hurricanes. Hurricanes have struggled on the road. They struggled in the first game against All
right, Mark, we're going to get a little bit more from you as we get back here at Coach and Company.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. I am the coach. We are past the bottom of the hour, 10:30 in the East, 7:30 for all of you waking up in the West. I want to bring my numbers guy back in right now because he's got a brand new role starting today. He's going to be monitoring everything about our picks, linemen throughout the day. Rafi, anything going on right now, sir?
Player props, Ant-Man money coming in on all the overs, especially points and rebounds, which I'm a little bit shocked on how poorly he played, but I guess people think that he's going to have a monster game. Golden Knight money. Mark said it. If you like it, bet it now. It's probably going to close closer to minus 150. BetMGM already moved it to minus 145. So if you like the Golden Knights, grab it. And then Golden State, the first half, the under money is coming in. So if you like the under, grab it now. I'm leaning towards the over because I think the Warriors can surprise people. Look for Gary Payton Jr. or Gary Payton III to have a big game. Everyone's going to be focused on Buddy and Jimmy. Look for Gary Payton. I like his prop bets over and the money showing.
Absolutely love it. So if you guys are in the chat and you have any questions, put them into the chat. Raphael and or Mark will answer them in real time. You see them right now. Vegas money coming in all day. Raphael will join us at the bottom of the hour every single day to kind of give us what he just gave us right there. Absolutely vital as we continue to change and evolve the show. Raphael, thank you very much. Now, tonight, there's only one game on the NBA hardwood, but so many teams are being talked about. It's time to hoop it up. All right, DG, I'm going to start with you, my NBA guy. Right now, I think the books, and over at BetMGM, they have the Timberwolves at 10.5 with Steph Curry being out. And it's usually that reverse mindset. And last night, the Thunder were giving double digits, and they end up winning by 43 because the books assume they're going to come out in that must-win vibe, that energy. So when you look at this 10.5 minus Steph Curry, is that too high, or should it be higher?
Well, when I looked at it first, I was like kind of taken aback from it because 10.5 is a ton, but it's a must-win game for the Minnesota Timberwolves. It's at home. I think you can kind of resemble this looking not as the big, 40-point win that OKC had, but you can look at this in a sense of this team will make the right adjustments. And there aren't adjustments right now that the Warriors will make. I think that they're going to have to say, hey, we went and did our job. We got one. We just now can go back home with a chance to win games 3 and 4 and win 2 there at home. So I think that the number is right on this. And if it scares me, it's probably needs to be a Timberwolves cover.
And that's the thing is before game 1, I said, well, Buddy Hield could do the same thing he did in game 7. And he did. He scored 24. His number was 9.5. And so Seabass, when you're the Timberwolves or any team and the superstar for the other team gets knocked out, there can be a tendency to take the foot off the gas pedal just a little bit. And Minnesota can't afford to do that because they're already down a game. What's got to be the mentality to not just win by 10.5, but just win the damn game?
If Minnesota wants to win, they've got to get early buckets here. Their shooting has been just awful in game 1. Ant-Man hasn't had great games in the last 2 games. So if they want to cover this spread, they've got to get early baskets. They got to get the confidence going and kind of knock Golden State out and let them know Steph Curry's not here. You can't compete with us. They were one of the top seeds in the West. They've got to come out strong. They've got to score early buckets if they're going to cover a 10-point spread.
Yeah, I think they need to do the same thing, like you said, that the Thunder did last night. And young Peyton, the Thunder came out last night, and they scored 87 points in the first half. So for Minnesota, when you've got Ant-Man, who got called out by his head coach saying, hey, he's got to set the tone, you got to believe that the Ant-Man will come out and be firing in the first quarter because he had to have heard that for the last 2 days from all of the local media there in Minnesota.
Yeah, and that's got to get him pumped up and going. A young guy, hungry for these games, but no Steph, no problem, apparently. Props to the coaching staff and these bench guys for staying ready for Golden State. They had Pat Spencer running around out there getting minutes, but 31 points in the first half. That wouldn't have much been enough to beat my intramural team, honestly, 31 points in the first half. So it goes without saying that the Wolves need to put the ball in the basket. They shot 17% from the 3. Edwards was terrible early on, and the Warriors took advantage of that. I think we see Minnesota cover tonight, and I see the Warriors playing from behind most game by double digits, probably chasing like a 10-point game or something.
Let's go over to players now. Great analysis by all 3 of you. And when I look at one particular number, DG, it's Buddy Hield. And his number is up 6. He was 9.5 in game 1, blew that out of the water with 24. He had 31 in game 7 against Houston. So now the sports books, with Curry out and with how he's performed the last 2 games, they've raised it 6 points. I don't know that I've ever seen that before with a player prop from game to game. Is that too much of a jump?
I don't think it is, but he's now going to be the second best player on this team within the offensive end. So you got to think that that's going to add a little bit more points. You're taking roughly 30 points away from a Steph, but it's going to open up some 3-pointers because Jimmy Butler is going to change the style and how they play. You're going to see a lot of pick and roll from Draymond and Jimmy and trying to create a little bit more movement to get some backside open 3-pointers for a guy like Brandon Podziemski, but also Buddy Hield. And so their offense is going to look a lot different than it does with Steph Curry. But on the other end, I think you can look at a lot of Minnesota stuff and know it's not Anthony Edwards except for his assists. So be careful about the big names and target a lot of these lesser known guys on the peripheral here.
Yeah, Podziemski is 12.5 juice to the over. So the BetMGM even believes that he's going to go over that number at -125. And Seabass, when I look at Draymond Green, maybe Draymond is going to be the Buddy Hield of game 2. He had 16 points in the first half, including 4 3-pointers. Now, he normally doesn't make that many threes, and he may not do it tonight. But his number, juice to the over at -130, is 10.5. Would you sprinkle a little bit there?
I would because it's Draymond, but that guy, he's got to have the ugliest 3-point shot I've ever seen as he was chucking those up the other night. He's like just heaving it up there. I don't know. But that's a good number for Draymond. DG just mentioned it. You've got 31 points from Steph Curry that you've got to disperse amongst that team. They got to come from somewhere if they're going to be competitive in this game, which I think they will because they've shown they play good basketball. They can score points without Steph Curry. 11 points is not a big task for Draymond.
It really isn't. And I'm leaning towards the under in this one, Peyton, because I think the Warriors, even though they can score points, that they'll try to, with Steve Kerr being such a great coach, to slow things down just a little bit because I think Ant-Man is going to be so hyped that they'll want to just slow it down so he gets even more sped up. And when he gets sped up in basketball, that's not a good thing. You want to be in that flow. But Peyton, when I look at his number, it's 27.5 -115. he's going to shoot a lot tonight. And if he is just remotely on, he could blow this number out of the water. Do you think that he will?
I think the Ant-Man, I like his rebounds today, actually, Coach. The
Oh.
Ant-Man has recorded 8 or more rebounds in 8 of the Wolves' last 9 playoff games. So his rebounds being at the 8 that it's at, or 7.5, I like that over. And in these home playoff games, I like the Stars, like the Ant-Man, going for rebounds and assists rather than points. I let the guys like Naz Reid or DiVincenzo put the ball in the cup at home and let the Ant-Man take care of those tough games on the road to get him over the hill. But when you look at role players on the Warriors side like Draymond, hopefully Buddy Hield has the right shorts on today. Brandon Pajemski, less than 12. I like him under 12.5 because, no offense or anything, because I think he's a great player and a huge reason the Warriors were so successful this season. But half the time, Pajemski has the ball over his hands asking for, come on, come get it. Someone come get it. And he's not even looking to score out there. So I like Buddy Hield to put the ball in the cup a little bit and Draymond to facilitate.
By the way, your Anthony Edwards rebound number at BetMGM is 7.5 currently at -105. So right around where you were talking about it. You love Jimmy Butler. And DG, last night you said you may ladder him all the way up to 11 tonight. Right now, he's plus money at 7.5. Why are you so bullish on Butler and the boards?
Well, you have to look at how this team wins for Minnesota, but also Golden State. This game is going to come down to who's going to out rebound, but also assist. With Jimmy Butler, I like his rebounds because it's going to be more of gang rebounding, such as you're going to see, Buddy Hield, who does not rebound a lot. He's going to have to get his nose in there and rebound with the length of, these players like Jaden McDaniels that are going to go into the paint and try to get some rebounds. I love Anthony Edwards' rebounds tonight. I love the rebounds from Rudy Gobert. So I'm gonna pair those up, and I'll have it a little bit more on the weekday wagers today. But I like the assist from Ant to Gobert tonight.
All right, real quick, let's flip it over to the only game we haven't talked about, and that was the Thunder last night. They could not miss a shot, Seabass. They scored 87 points, the highest total ever in the history of the NBA playoffs. They absolutely were amazing. Now, quickly in Game 3, they're a 5.5-point favorite on the road. The series price obviously has changed. Are the books and BetMGM going too far the other way now?
I don't think that they are. Denver at home is going to be a tough win for OKC, I believe. I mean, you run that much in a game, and now we're going to go into altitude in Denver. I'm looking for Denver to come out. They've got to show you get blown out by 43 points. You've got to do something there. I think Denver is the right side for that matchup in Game 3.
Young Peyton, I'll come over to you. 5.5 on the road for the Thunder, who lost Game 1. Is it too much to you? It's juiced -102 at BetMGM.
No, not at all. But how did Jokic foul out last night? That's what I want to know. He had 6 turnovers and 6 personal fouls, 6 for 16 from the field. You got Porter out there just jacking him up. Westbrook, though, another 19 points yesterday. So he's been Mr. Consistent lately. So, yes, I'm saying that it's better to get blown out in some of these playoff games than maybe to lose by 1. You can rest these guys and see what you can do the next game and just, okay, we went there to get 1. We got the 1 game. Let's move on and get home and try to win 2 games at home.
All right, I'm looking at the games, and the Thunder Nuggets tomorrow, Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern time. That game's on ESPN. And the Cavs and the Pacers Game 3 is also Friday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. And the Celtics and the Knicks one more time, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday. Gentlemen, I'm going to have to exit stage right. DG, I'm hoping that you can handle the rest of the show by yourself, because I got to get ready for the truest. I got to get ready for round number 1. I got to get ready for ESPN Bet and a special betting stream. So, gentlemen, well done. All the respect in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, have a freaking great day. And remember to laugh a little bit and learn a lot. This has been Coach and Company. We're still not done, though. We are live as always. Where else but right here on Stadium? Have a great day. DG, it's all yours.
All right, we are back with our DGN friends for sure. But we're going to talk a little bit more of hoops. So have the guys come back here. We're going to talk a little bit of the Pacers and the Cavs series and breaking all of that down. And Peyton, we'll go to you first on this one. Now we have the Pacers going home. We have the injuries from the Cavs. Is there any chance that we can have the Cavs squeak at least one of these games out in Indiana?
They have to, and they don't have a choice. And these Garland, Mobley, Hunter, all out, huge role players for the Cavs. I mean, I know I didn't mention the name Donovan Mitchell in those three, but
Mm.
Evan Mobley is such a huge part of the Cavs defensively and offensively. With him out, it's going to be really tough for Cleveland. So you just got to hope these guys can get back on the court.
Seabass?
I talked about this early in the season when Cleveland was making this run and having all their wins. And I thought during the regular season that they're a young team. They don't have the mentality to withstand. And I think that's what we're getting right now. I think it finally is breaking as they're hitting the playoffs. And then to lose in the manner that they did in both of those games, two totally different ways to lose. You blow a big lead, and then you let Halliburton just kill you in game two at the end there. I don't know how they come back from this. I think this is a 4-game sweep for Indiana.
Wow. I would be shocked if it was a 4-game sweep. Hey, let's go to the other game real quick. And we saw it last night within New York. They're taking 2 in Boston now, the same exact thing. New York Knicks are going home, and they have a 2-0 series lead against Boston. Same question, 20 seconds or less. Peyton, your thoughts on can Boston somehow recover and win a game, at least one game in New York?
My question is, Jason Tatum, what are you doing? I mean, what's going on? 2 of those plays down the stretch, they've had 2 chances in those close games late. They took a timeout and they didn't take a timeout. So you tried 2 things. You tried to draw something up and you tried to let your star go ahead and take over, but they still couldn't get it out there.
10 seconds, Seabass. Did they win?
They definitely get one. This is a complete opposite of the Cavs situation. They're a veteran team. They're a year removed from a championship. They can win 1, if not 2.
All right, well, we'll talk a little bit more of baseball that we haven't talked about just yet as we come to the break at Coach and Company. All right, welcome back to Coach and Company. I am Daniel Greer, stepping in for Coach, who is going to be noon to 2 today, noon to 2 Eastern. You can go ahead and catch out the ESPN Bet Show, which is going to be part of the PGA Tour, talking a little bit of golf betting. You don't want to miss it with Coach hosting the way. But we haven't talked any baseball just yet, so let's bring the guys back in and see if we can talk a little bit of what's happening around major leagues. And guys, I want to ask a simple question. The biggest markets obviously boost numbers, but now we have the 3 best TV markets. Well, those teams now in Chicago, LA, but also New York, they all have first place teams. Peyton, is this good for baseball?
Oh, 100%. I mean, as much as I hate it personally, it's awesome. Angels walked it off last night. I just want to throw that out there. Yankees, though, you got star power 1 through 9. Pretty awesome to see those guys come up to the plate. Really fun to watch. The Dodgers, Freddie Freeman has been awesome these last couple of games. So it's nice to see him starting to get his bat back because a couple of weeks ago, he was kind of struggling there at the plate for a little bit. But Chicago, the role players in Chicago, Pete Crow Armstrong, if he can start hitting, this whole Chicago lineup's really going to improve and start scoring. And that's what we've seen lately. We know PCA has some stellar defense out there in center field, but him offensively has been a real plus for the Cubs.
Always makes me feel weird because I always think of just like physical contact, right? And I know you love that physical contact for sure, Seabass. But I want to hear. So we expected the Yankees, but also the Dodgers to be there. But the Cubs, they've been kind of surging a little bit and playing really good baseball. Your thoughts on the Cubs now being one of the best teams in baseball?
I think it's great for baseball. I actually picked the Cubs to win that division. I think they've got a great team, some young guys that really step up. But let's not also forget the New York Mets are also in first place. So New York's got 2 first place teams. And I think this is great for Major League Baseball because right now, all anybody's really talking about is NBA playoffs and NHL playoffs because it's playoffs, right? We want to talk about the playoffs. But being in those large markets and having those teams in first place is creating some talk about baseball as well. So you got all 3, factor in the NFL draft that people enjoy. You got all 4 major sports people are talking about right now. So I think it's great all around for everybody, but it's definitely doing baseball a favor.
As these playoffs within the NHL and NBA kind of start settling down, it becomes baseball season at that point, right? And so This is great for the game of baseball. It's going to get the eyes on it, and hopefully it just continues to transition into bigger numbers and to better gameplay. Good job, boys. All right, so you have not been here the entire show. Well, shame on you. I'm just kidding. But if you missed anything of our plays in the very beginning, we're going to bring back all the guys and talk a little bit more and share 10 seconds or less our plays as we lock it in. All right, let's get to our plays today. And Peyton, go ahead and lead us off, sir.
Yeah, Dodgers starting to really get it going offensively. I like them to cover tonight against the D-backs. And a little hit parlay, Gleyber Torres and Ryan Mountcastle. Mountcastle holding a 13-game hit streak against the Twins. And Gleyber Torres is facing Kyle Freeland, which should be enough said. But why not mention that Torres is 3 for 5 against Freeland and 400 average against lefties this season.
Well, I have 2 plays as well. So I'm going to go Jimmy Butler over 7.5 rebounds at plus 132. I think he does go up to the ladder, maybe 9, 10 rebounds in this game. And then we're going to go with my guy, Freddie Freeman, 1+ RBI and at plus 120. The dude is just hot. And of everything I've learned when Freddie was a Brave is when he's hot, you kind of just ride him and then he'll eventually cool off and then you back away. But Freddie Freeman, 1+ RBI. All right, let's go ahead and let's go to our guy, Seabass. What you got, sir?
One play tonight, we're going to take the Golden State Warriors first half team total over 45.5 points. No Steph, no problem. They've done this in 8 of 10 games without him, and they've done it in their last 10 games, including 7 of 7 versus Minnesota this year.
All right, well, Coach is gone for the show, but we can still cash with Coach with Brian Harmon at minus 130 over Tom Hoagie. And then this is round 1 and starting soon. Get these in. And then the other one is Denny McCarthy at minus 110 over Robert McIntyre. And then we have Chuck's premium play. Everybody's favorite word. Chuck Marks is what I saw somebody on Twitter call him the other day. Bodo Glimp, first half team total over a half goal at minus 110. And then Raphael, go ahead and close us out, sir.
We're going to the Minnesota Timberwolves first quarter, minus 3.5, minus 3 nickels. We cashed first quarter yesterday. We're going to cash it again today. And then give me the Phillies team total over 4.5, minus 105. Why? Because the Mariners aren't playing. So we're going to go with the Phillies team total over. They've been crushing it, outscoring the Rays 15-4 in their last 2 games. I think they crushed that one. The Dodger play, tons of Arizona money coming in, Peyton. Does that make you a little worried? I think the wise guys think the travel that the Dodgers had to do from Miami to Arizona, a lot of Diamondback money coming in.
Peyton's nervous, but I know who's not nervous. We got Mark with Just the Stats Sports Play today. What you got, sir?
We're going with Philadelphia Philly Kyle Schwarber to get at least 1 walk today. He's had 64 at-bats on the road this season. He's already been walked 12 times with the wind blowing directly out to right field. Look for him to get pitched around in this one as well. And we're going to pair that with Vegas Mark Stone to get over 1.5 shots on goal. He is absolutely lighting it up this postseason, going over in 6 of 7 games. He is just absolutely dialed in. Put them both together for plus 152.
Don't forget to use the code BTT30. You can get your first 30 days free on us, and make sure you can get what the model is saying. The model's been hot. We're going to keep rocking with it today, as well as on weekday wagers. Do not miss that show today at 3 p.m. Eastern. But we also have a little stat from Raphael. What you got today on your stats, sir?
We're going to the baseball diamond today, and I don't understand this one because the Toronto Blue Jays have dropped 7 straight games against American League West teams. They are 1-7 in their last 8 road games. So why are the Halos plus money? Me and Peyton cashing tonight.
Peyton, are we cashing on the Angels tonight?
Of course we are, just like we have all season. Are you kidding me? 15 wins? Come on now, guys. I haven't mentioned the losses. 15 wins. Jose Soriano on the mound at home. He's been great.
Wow. Peyton, real quick. You mentioned a long time ago that the Angels are in first place. They're still there, right?
No comment.
All right. Tonight, we do have a lot of hockey as well as the NBA. Real quick, down the line for just kind of who you're picking tonight in tonight's game. Peyton, obviously the Warriors are without Steph Curry. Do you think there's any chance that the Warriors can get this win tonight?
Yeah, without question. I mean, they can get it. They did it last time. So I want to see how they come out to play today without Steph.
you think the Warriors win?
No, I have Minnesota by 10 plus points the entire game after the first quarter.
All right. Seabass.
The Capitals. I'm going with the Capitals. Wrong game. I'm done with the NBA. I don't think the Warriors get it done tonight. I don't.
Raphael, any chance the Warriors can win?
I think they can score, take the team total over 94.5. They're averaging 106 points a game without Seth being in the lineup. So I think we're going to see a high-paced game, but I think Minnesota wins and covers.
All right. Well, we talked a little bit in the break of the New York Knicks and Boston Celtics. Peyton, the Celtics, they are the champion. Any chance you can come back and win the series?
Without question, it's possible. But going back to New York, they're not doing that, man. No way. Knicks have a chance to sweep. They just got to make sure they can get game 3, and maybe they can take care of game 4. But the minute it gets down to less than 5 seconds or 5 minutes, Jalen Brunson, man, you can't stop him.
Seabass.
Let's not forget this is the Knicks, who have found ways to just destroy everything good that they've ever had since as long as I can remember watching them, which is like the late 80s, early 90s. So, yes, Boston has a chance because it's the Knicks.
Raphael.
You know who I'm rooting for. A week ago, I said the Knicks were going to win this series. A week ago, I said the Knicks can maybe sweep this series. I think some guy named Mark Zeno, a very handsome guy, and DG laughed at me on a Friday. So I'm pulling out the brooms today. Knicks still sweep. They win this series.
I still think we see the Celtics come back and win this series somehow, some way. Porzingis has got to get healthy at some point. But either way, it's going to be entertaining, no doubt. But a good show today, boys. That is all we have. It has been an incredible show. We're hoping to continue winning and cashing tickets for our guy, Peyton, Seabass, Raphael, Mark, Coach as well, but also never forget producer man, always the best in the business. I am DG. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Do not miss weekday wagers today, 3 p.m. Eastern, right here at Coaching Company. We'll see you all tomorrow right here at Coaching Company.